Councillor Zhou's comments. How did you react when you first heard or saw those?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredibly disturbing sort of allegations, and we immediately, the four opposition, if you will, councillors, kind of got on a call and said, "Can you believe this? This is outrageous, and what do we do? And do we kind of go to the media first? Do we do a code of conduct complaint? And we decided, since the comments were public, to then hold a press conference and go public and get that out there, because this kind of misinformation really erodes democratic trust.
Well, again, the comments were made in a video, and he was speaking Mandarin at the time. Councillor Zhou has since apologized. This was yesterday afternoon. He released a statement. I'll read part of that. "My comments were based on incorrect information, and for that I unequivocally apologize. I am retracting my statement. I've taken down the video. I fully support the pause of net new supportive housing. I do believe that there are significant issues around how many facilities, operate." Now, from what I understand, he did not post any kind of a retraction in Mandarin. He just took that down. But what do you make of how he's handled this?
Yeah, I don't think that's really an apology. I think also the mayor should come out and condemn this kind of language. And yeah, I called on him to make a statement on WeChat as well, to come out and say, I was wrong and this is the misinformation. I think that apology, he says it's unequivocal. I think he's equivocating in that. There's a lot of, it's not even really an excuse. And I know for a fact that the other councillors don't accept the apology. I don't think it's a real apology, and I think he has to do better. And I think there should be some repercussions for this. You can't just say things like that and get away with it. It's so outrageous. I think and I think the reaction from what I'm seeing, it agrees. It's just.
Reaction from?
Just from what I'm seeing on social media, I think people are really concerned that this is the kind of where we're at. Like this, people are comparing it to U.S. politics, where we can just say whatever we want and go after each other, and hopefully, and it's funny that we're here on Pink Shirt Day too, and we're talking about sort of bullying, and I think that's pretty apropos, but. Hopefully this is not a preview of the election. I think Vancouverites really want to see what the city can look like and in a positive frame, and really talk about policy and not do these baseless character attacks. Well,
you and several other non-ABC councillors held a press conference yesterday. Then came the apology or the statement that I just read out. What was the dynamic like? How would you describe council chambers today? Were you feeling a little? Was there a bit of a chill on? Is what I'm getting at.
It's kind of a chill all the time. I think that's part of it. This isn't an isolated incident, and I think the press conference sort of said that this is a pattern. This has been going on for a long time. And people aren't included, and there's people are kicked out of ABC. Rebecca Bly was kicked out. There's been so many different sort of things where we're doing wedge politics, and we're not sort of doing consensus politics. We're not kind of reaching across the aisle, so to speak, and that's really unfortunate. It's really toxic in there.
Well, let's talk about the issue. The comments were surrounding giving out drugs and this type of thing. And there was, former Cope councillor Jean Swanson, she once did hand out drugs as part of a protest with Vancouver Area Network of Drug Users, that's VANDU, and the Drug Users Liberation Front, DULF. Do you support that action?
We can get into sort of that policy. I still think, there's so much misinformation out there. I think the main point is that he said several non-ABC councillors handed out drugs. It's not true.
Have you ever handed out drugs?
No, I have not. I haven't at all, and I know for a fact the others haven't either. So, I think we can get into this really broad sort of conversation on what harm reduction looks like, and how it saves lives. I absolutely do believe harm reduction saves lives. I absolutely do believe that we need a regulated safe supply. No question. Absolutely. I'll say that. But in terms of what that looks like and how to go about it, that's different. That's a whole different thing.
In Councillor Zhou's apology, he says, and I'll quote here, "There are members of council who have made it clear that they support the province's model of supportive housing and the liberalization of drug use in our city." That's the quote. And we know that drug use is likely to be a big election issue this year in Vancouver. What is COPE's approach to hard drugs?
First of all, I kind of reject that label, hard drugs. It's not a scientific label. It's not based in any sort of kind of reality. It's just a way, again, to sort of demonize certain lifestyles.
What is COPE's approach to drug use?
It's a provincial issue anyways, but I think we definitely don't want to be to see people dying on the streets. Period. Whatever we can do, whatever the province can do to stop people from dying. I don't see how that's controversial, in my opinion. And yeah, that's it.
Whatever you can do. So, for example, what could you do to stop people from dying then? I guess is there a limit to where you would draw the line?
Where would I draw the line on people not dying? Or
on drug use, when we're talking about the drug. You're going to have to lay out your platform.
It won't be in our platform because it's a provincial issue, so it won't really be in our platform. Absolutely. So I think we're getting a little off topic, but like I said, I think we need a regulated safe supply. I'll stand by that. Absolutely.
You don't think that open drug use is going to be an issue in the upcoming municipal election here in Vancouver?
Okay, so open drug use is a different issue. That means so it's a sort of a side thing. We need to get people indoors. We need to get people inside, and that's what supportive housing does in some cases. We absolutely need to get people off the streets and not using in public. So
right. Yeah. Do you think that's not a fair question to ask?
No, I do. Yeah.
At this point, I'm not trying to corner you here. I'm just trying to let's address the issue that's out there in the public sphere right now and just see where you stand on it. That's what I'm going for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I think we should do everything that we can to stop the harm, and I support harm reduction, and I support a safe supply, and I support housing first model. And we need supportive housing. We need those wraparound supports. We need to get people into recovery, treatment on demand, all those things. We need to look at all the root causes of drug addiction. Yeah.
No, I understand. I understand your point about the province having to take some action on that front.
Absolutely.
But it has to be supported by local councils as well. So inevitably you're going to be involved in some way. Let's talk though. We've only got a couple of minutes here, so I'm sorry we're spending a lot of time on this. But some of the other motions that were put forward today. What are your thoughts on council voting to give $4 million to the VPD to establish new police training center, a new police training center in the downtown east side?
Yeah, as somebody, as I said in council, there's this council likes to talk about sort of duplication of jurisdiction and duplication of costs. Like they said with the park board, and that's what this does. The Justice Institute, is responsible for this. Again, this is the province is responsible for this, and there was a lot of conflicting information. The Justice Institute said they do have capacity. Brian Montague said we don't.
Okay. Let me move on for one more, because honestly, I'm watching the clock here. We've got Laura Lynch coming in. And you and Councillor Pete Fry put forward a motion to keep ICE agents out of Vancouver. It was ruled out of order.
Yeah, it was just a sort of semantic thing. I think the chair got the ruling wrong. The semantics was any additional deployment. So it wasn't. Yeah, it was just a wording thing where. ICE have already sort of been deployed here. They have, a field office here. So, we thought that was an incorrect ruling because they are here. So additional means no more. And we wanted to get ahead of that. We wanted, the mayor to write a letter to the government, federal government. But I'm glad that Ken Sim came out and said that he doesn't want ICE in Vancouver. So that was a win.
Sean Orr, we're glad you were able to join us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.